Learning English, the podcast.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to the Learning English podcast, your go-to English podcast for learning English in a simple way. I'm Carol.
And I'm Edu.
How you doing today, Edu?
Honestly, a little nervous. I had this moment yesterday at work where I had to present our construction timeline to international clients. And even though I've done it 100 times, I still felt that knot in my stomach before speaking.
I totally get that. You know what's funny? I woke up early this morning, had my tea on the bus, and I was thinking about the exact same thing. How even after all these years of speaking English, sometimes I still freeze when someone asks me a simple question like, "So, what do you think about the new project?"
Right? And your brain just goes blank. It's like all your English vocabulary decides to take a vacation at that exact moment.
Exactly. And that's why today's episode is so important. We're talking about how to talk to anyone with confidence. And this is not just an English lesson, it's also a life lesson. Because confidence isn't about being perfect, it's about being real.
And we're going to share some really practical strategies that have helped us, from starting conversations with strangers to ending them gracefully without that awkward, "oh, okay, bye" moment.
Plus, at the end, we'll break down key vocabulary words like intimidating, genuine, caught off guard, and mirroring. So stay until the end.
Let's begin.
So, Edu, before we dive into all the strategies, can we just be honest for a second?
Please.
Talking to people is terrifying sometimes.
Oh my God, yes. Especially when it's in English, your second language. You start thinking, what if I say something weird? What if they don't understand my accent? What if I forget words halfway through?
It's like your brain suddenly hits pause right when your mouth is supposed to hit play.
Exactly. And then you walk away thinking, why did I say that? Or worse, why didn't I say anything at all? And it plays in your head for hours.
Been there many, many times. But here's the funny thing. Everyone, even native speakers, feels like that sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true. We all get nervous. But the difference between confident people and nervous ones isn't that confident people never feel fear. It's that they talk anyway.
Right. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being okay with not being perfect.
I love that because half the time, the other person is just as nervous as you are. They're thinking about how they sound, how they look, what they should say next.
Exactly. Everyone's busy worrying about their own English, their own smile, their own what do I say now moment. So once you realize that, talking becomes a little lighter, a little easier.
But you know what really used to hold me back?
What?
Comparing myself to other people. Like, I'd be in a meeting with engineers from Europe or the US, and everyone sounded so fluent, and I'd just shrink into my chair.
Oh, yes, I know that feeling so well. I used to sit in project reviews with international teams and think, do I even belong here?
Exactly. It's like your mind starts ranking people. They're better, they sound smarter, and suddenly you forget that you're a person too, not a performance.
Totally. And that's what changed everything for me. One day, I just told myself, no one's above me, and I'm not above anyone else. We're all just people trying to connect.
That's such a simple but powerful mindset shift. Because when you drop that pressure to sound good, you actually start sounding more real.
Yes, you stop trying to impress and start trying to express. And that's where confidence really begins. Not in how perfect your grammar is, but in how genuine your heart is.
That's beautiful, Carol. But here's the thing. Once you stop comparing, there's another question that hits you.
What's that?
Okay, but what do I actually say?
Oh, the classic problem.
Right? You finally feel brave enough to talk, and then your brain goes completely blank.
It's the classic, so how's your week moment, and your only reply is, good.
Exactly. I used to freeze every time someone asked me that.
And then I realized the problem wasn't my English. It was that I never thought ahead about what I wanted to share.
That's so true. Now, before I go anywhere social, like a work event or even just meeting a friend, I do a quick mental check. Like, okay, what's one cool thing that happened this week? Did I try something new? Did I watch something interesting?
I do the same. Sometimes I even write small notes in my phone, like funny thing that happened at the construction site or that new shawarma place I tried.
It sounds silly, but it really helps.
Not silly at all. That's smart. It's like preparing your conversation toolbox. Just a few small ideas ready in your mind so you're not caught off guard.
Exactly. And for our listeners, this is such a helpful skill in English. You don't need big fancy sentences, just something like, it's really crowded today, or I love this song.
It's small talk, but it opens the door.
Yeah, it's like the first hello before a real chat begins. Those tiny lines break the ice.
Exactly. And once you break the ice, that little bit of courage makes the next conversation easier.
Yeah, confidence really does grow one hello at a time.
And that brings us to something really important.
What's that?
Practice. Because honestly, the only way to stop feeling awkward is to go through the awkward.
So true. You can't skip that stage. You have to pass through it.
When I first started talking to strangers in English, I felt like my words had training wheels. I was careful, slow, and terrified of falling.
That's such a great image. And one day you realize you don't need those training wheels anymore. You just start speaking naturally.
The more you practice, the smoother it gets. Saying hello, asking a question, making small talk. It all becomes easier the more you do it.
Because small talk isn't small at all. It's like the warm-up before a marathon. It might seem simple, but it helps you find your rhythm, right?
And it's like exercise too. At first, your social muscles ache. You overthink everything. But with time, it starts to feel lighter and easier.
Totally. And the best part, you don't need hours of practice every day. Just little moments, asking for directions, chatting with your barista, or saying thank you in full sentences.
Yes, every small conversation adds up. Each one builds your confidence, not just in English, but in yourself.
And the beautiful thing is that mistakes don't stop you. They teach you. The faster you make them, the faster you learn.
There's a saying I love. If you're not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough.
Every slip-up means you're stretching your comfort zone. And that's where growth happens.
Exactly. Confidence isn't about never failing. It's about realizing that failure doesn't hurt as much as silence does.
So true. And eventually, you stop obsessing over grammar and start focusing on meaning. That's when English begins to feel authentic, like it belongs to you.
Beautifully said. You stop speaking to impress and start speaking to express. That's real progress.
And the funny thing is that what really turned my conversations around wasn't speaking more. It was learning to listen with intent.
I love that. Listen with intent. Most people listen just to reply, but real connection starts when you listen to understand.
Exactly. When you pay attention, you notice the subtext, the emotions hiding between the words. It's like reading the room, not just a dictionary.
That's such a good way to put it. And sometimes mirroring what someone says, like, so you finally took that trip to Jordan, helps build rapport. It shows you care.
Yes, and that's what makes conversations flow. You stop trying to fill the silence and start enjoying it. It becomes less of a performance and more of a rhythm.
Exactly. And when you do that, people open up. They sense your presence. At that point, fluency isn't just about vocabulary, it's about emotional intelligence.
Absolutely. Communication isn't about perfect sentences, it's about shared meaning. The moment you realize that, you stop worrying about sounding smart and start sounding sincere.
And that's when English stops being a subject you study and becomes a language you live.
That line gives me chills every time. It's true. When English becomes part of how you think, not just what you learn, everything changes.
Yeah. And there's one more thing that people rarely talk about.
Oh, what's that?
Knowing when to end a conversation.
Ah, yes.
You can be great at starting one, but sometimes finishing it politely is the real challenge.
Yes, we've all been there. That moment when the chat starts going in circles and you're just thinking, okay, how do I get out of this?
Exactly. And here's where confidence really shows. You don't have to vanish or make it awkward. Just leave with kindness.
Right. Something like, it's been great talking to you. I should get going. Or I'm going to grab a coffee, but it was nice catching up.
Simple and friendly.
Totally. You're not cutting the person off. You're closing the loop. It leaves a positive final impression.
And that's what confident people do. They start conversations with warmth and end them with grace.
Well said, because confidence isn't just about talking. It's about knowing when to pause, smile, and walk away with respect.
Yes, and if you can do that, Start, connect, and end naturally? Congratulations! You already know how to talk to anyone with confidence.
Well said. And for everyone listening, don't rush it. Confidence isn't built overnight. It grows with every real conversation you have.
Absolutely. Now, Wإيدو, we use some really interesting words today.
Yes, let's break down the key vocabulary.
Let's start with intimidating. This means something that makes you feel nervous or scared because it seems difficult or powerful. For example, speaking English with native speakers can feel intimidating at first.
Next, we have terrifying. This means extremely scary or frightening. For example, the idea of speaking in front of a big crowd was terrifying for me.
Then we have genuine. This means real, honest, and sincere, not fake. For example, people like talking to you when your smile feels genuine.
Another useful one is caught off guard. This means surprised or not ready for something unexpected. For example, I was caught off guard when my manager suddenly asked me a question in the meeting.
We also used awkward. This means uncomfortable, embarrassing, or not smooth. For example, there was an awkward silence after I forgot what to say.
Then there's obsessing. This means thinking too much about something, usually in a stressful way. For example, stop obsessing over grammar. Focus on communication instead.
Next is eventually. This means after some time or after a process, finally. For example, if you keep practicing, you'll eventually feel confident speaking English.
We also talked about intent. This means purpose or aim, doing something with focus or meaning. For example, listen with intent. Really try to understand, not just reply.
Another important word is mirroring. This means copying someone's words, tone, or body language to build connection. For example, mirroring what someone says can make them feel understood.
And finally, grace. This means polite, calm, and kind behavior, especially in difficult situations. For example, she ended the conversation with grace, leaving a good impression.
We also mentioned subtext. This means the underlying or hidden meaning behind what someone says. For example, when he said he was fine, the subtext was that he was actually upset.
And rapport. This means a friendly, harmonious relationship or connection with someone. For example, building rapport with your colleagues makes teamwork much easier.
So those were our key words for today.
Try using them in your own sentences. Practice makes perfect.
Thank you all for joining us today. Remember, confidence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about being the most authentic.
And every conversation you have, even the awkward ones, is building your confidence muscle.
We'll see you next time on the Learning English podcast. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep speaking with confidence.
Your progress doesn't end here. Click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've selected for you.
See you soon, English learners.
Take care.